proceed to the next point. We should ensure whatever we say is clear.
That means work is being done. We can see that it is in opposite direction.
Hello learners, welcome to another segment of civic education class. I still remain your civic education teacher, Ruth Tanko Godwin, and I am delighted to have you again today. Today, our topic is national independence. What did I say? National independence. But before I go into the lesson, let me ask you this question, or let us look at this scenario. If you are under a boss, or your parent, or somebody who provides everything for you, and before you take any decision, or before you do anything, you have to ask permission from that person, or before you execute anything, that person have to give you directives. What do we say? How can we describe you? Your guess is as good as mine. We are going to say you are depending on that person. Then when we have another scenario whereby you have the freedom to do whatsoever you want to do. Go to wherever you want to go. You have your money to spend it the way you want to spend it and take decision the way you want it to be. How can we describe that situation? My learners, I know you will say you are an independent person. So now that brings us to our topic of today, which is national independence. When we say nation, we mean the society at large. And when we say independence, it means you have the right to do whatsoever you want to do. So let's bring the concept together, national independence. What do we mean by national independence? National independence is the right of a nation or people to determine its own form of government without influence from outside. What did I say? National independence is the right of a nation or people to determine its own form of government without influence from outside. We can also say it is a state of being free from outside control or influence. It is a self-government. My dear learners, permit me to say this in a layman language, to say it is a situation where you govern yourself by yourself how you want it to be. That is what we mean by national independence. You do not depend on anyone. Now, this national independence, why is it that we think national independence is the right thing to do or is the right situation to have? Now, let us catch little glimpse of what this nation called Nigeria, how it came to be. Before we have what we call Nigeria, we used to have region, we used to have kingdoms, we used to have group of people living on their own, in their own world. There was nothing called Nigeria until the colonial masters came. These colonial masters came to Africa. Some of them were British, some were France, some were German, and so on and so forth. But let us concentrate on Nigeria. The colonial masters of Nigeria were Britain. They came to Nigeria and colonized the society. And because of that, They brought Nigeria together, married the different kingdoms, married a different group of people, joined them together, which we call amalgamation. Amalgamation, that is marrying these kingdoms together in 1914. And when they married these kingdoms together, they decided to call them Nigeria. And that was when we had Nigeria. That was when Nigeria was given birth to. And the name Nigeria was derived from the river Niger, which the river Niger and river Benue married themselves in Lokoja. And that was the reason why they got the name Nigeria, by the wife of Lord Lugard, who was the representative of the British government in Nigeria. So we will say he was like our president. He was like our head that was taking care of the territory called Nigeria. And so he joined us together as one and give us the name Nigeria. And as of then, the Nigeria now, I will refer to the nation now Nigeria. The Nigeria now was under the control of the British government. Whatsoever we want to do, the British government have to give us the order. They have to give us the instruction. They were our governors. They were the ones that were governing us. They were the ones that were controlling us, controlling our market, controlling everything. My dear learners, it's just like you being the father of the house, being the bona fide child of a particular family, but somebody coming from outside telling you when to eat, telling you how much to spend, telling you which room to sleep in, and telling you when to go out and when to come in, telling you which portion of the house you need to use. My learners, how do you think that scenario will look like? Is this something that you want to have? It means you, in your own house, you are like a slave in your own house. You are not your own boss. Somebody from outside is your own boss. That is the scenario that was happening at that time. Do you think it's something that any people will want? No. And that was the reason why Nigerians begin to fight for independence. Because by then, they were not independent. Instead, they were dependent on the British government. So why did we look for this independence? Why didn't we just allow them to stay and control us and rule us? After all, we will say they were the white people, and they were the ones that were looking like more superior than we do. So, and that brings us to why the independence. Number one, feeling of equality among nations, that is national dignity. My learners, if you're in your family, somebody comes from outside and is the one that is controlling your family, will you have the same dignity? Will you have that sense of equality like the other family, that it is the father of the family that tells whatsoever you want to do, he gives you the right to do whatsoever you want to do? No. So, Nigerians felt they were not as equal as other nations who are independent, who govern themselves by themselves. And because of that, they felt they had no dignity because they were not an independent nation. And so they have to ask for independence. Now, another one is create your indigenous laws. As of then, it was the British law that was more supreme. It was only what the British government want us to do that we will do. We have to to follow their ways of life. We have to speak their own language. We have to follow their laws. They were even looking at our own culture as if it is barbaric or is primitive. And that makes our people not to be happy. And they have to stand and ask for independence. Because if we are to follow the foreign laws, it was foreign to us. It was not what we really wanted. And if you follow the foreign law, you can imagine somebody coming from outside telling you what to do. Of course, you know your life will not be as you wanted. We had our indigenous laws. We have our traditions and beliefs. We have our ways of life. But the colonial masters wanted us to live our life the way they want us to live, or the way they live their life. And that brings about that motivates the desire for independence. Another reason why we needed the independence is to facilitate national development. My learners, if you look at it, most of the structures, most of the constructions that were made by the British government were there in order to facilitate their movement of our resources, the goods from our country to their own country. Because the main aim of the colonial masters coming to our place is not for them to develop us, but is for them to have easy access for resources for their own industries. They came to exploit us. And also, they came so that they can have easy market for their finished goods. They would take cocoa from here to their place, turn it to finished goods, and bring it back here to sell it for us at a high price. So, if we do not have independence, we cannot develop our nation the way we want. Let me take you back again with the issue of the family. If an outside person come to your family to rule your family, do you think whatsoever he is doing in that family is for your own interest, is for your own development? No. He will do it for his own personal interest. And so we have to look for independence so that we will be able to develop our society the way we want it, the way it suits us, the way it will satisfy our needs. And that was the reason why we have to seek for independence. Another reason why we seek for independence is for patriotism. What did I say? Patriotism. Yes, patriotism, that feelings, that good feelings that you have for your country, that consciousness about your country, that this country is your father's land. And because the country is your father's land, you will not want another person, an alien, somebody, a foreigner, to come and use your country the way he wants. Because our resources we are sapping out, they were taking it away and leaving us empty. And that feelings of patriotism made us to begin to look for independence. Don't you think is a good reason for seeking for independence, seeking for self-government? So that feelings was what made us to seek for independence. We also have another reason why we seek for independence is preservation of culture and ways of life. It's a continuation of what I explained earlier concerning the indigenous laws. Our culture was seen by the colonial masters as a primitive culture. It was seen as a barbaric culture. My learners, you know, in Africa, we have beautiful culture. And we will not want to do away with our culture. But they wanted us to do away with our culture. They make us believe that our belief is barbaric, our culture is barbaric, is primitive, as we are not educated, we do not have any sense of humanity in us. And with that, they now wanted to do away with our culture. So for that, we have to seek for independence. My learners, these and so many reasons were the reason why we had to ask for independent government. You may ask, how did we achieve that? Because by now we are an independent nation. I know you'll be curious to know, how did we achieve this independence? So let's look at some of the ways that we use to achieve this independence. Number one, nationalist movement. Nationalist movement. What is nationalism? Nationalism is the movement for asking for an independent country. And this nationalist movement was made by our heroes past, by our forefathers, who said enough is enough. We need to have our own government. We need to be independent. And they were key players, key actors in this nationalist movement, who are example of people like Awolowo, Sir Ahmadu Bello, we have Nnamdi Azikiwe, and so on and so forth. They had to contest, they have to struggle, they have to ask for independent government. They continue to ask for it, and at the end, we were able to achieve it. Another way that we was used to gain independence is the use of press and propaganda. What did I say? The use of press and propaganda. Yes, the press, home and away, that is, the press, our press in the country, and also other press media outside the country, were used to attain independence, because they keep on enlightening people, keep on writing, keep on propagating the reason why we should be given independence, showing people that it is our fundamental right that we should get independence. And that also helped, because it helps to show the other world, part of the world, what was our predicament and how we should be allowed to govern ourselves by ourselves. Another way that was used to gain independence is activities of ex-servicemen after the 2 world wars. During the First World War and the Second World War, our indigenous soldiers were taken to go and fight the war. And when they got there, they realized that the white men, which we think are superhuman, which we think it is their right to rule us, they discovered that they are also human beings with us. They even fought alongside with the white men, and they discovered that they are even stronger than the white men. They can even endure better than the white men. They discovered that the white man also can feel pains. The white man can die. The white man can get sick. The white man is not even as strong as we do. And so they now realize that these people are not superhuman. The difference is just the color. And so if they can govern themselves, we can also govern ourselves. And with that, when they came back, they begin to enlighten the people home here, telling them, look, these white men are not superhuman. And since they are human beings like we do, we need not to allow them to rule us. And that also helped to enlighten the people to stand and agitate for independence. Another one is agitation from the Nigerian business group. The Nigerian businessmen were not given the privilege like the foreign businessmen. And that also made them feel, how can we be subjected to some limitation in our own country? Even loans were not given to the indigenous businessmen. Some privileges were not given. They were only given to foreign businessmen. And that also helped to fight and struggle for independence, because they knew that when the nation gets independence, there will be a better conditions, business environment for them. And also the white men were monopolizing the market and making the indigenous businessmen not to move forward. So that also helped in the struggle for independence. Another one is the activities of Nigerian students abroad. We had our own Nigerian students abroad who now became educated, enlightened, and now know about the human right and what the human rights said. And knowing fully that we are also human and we also have our right. We deserve to exercise our right as human beings. So we deserve to govern ourselves by ourselves. And that also helped in the struggle for independence. My learners, did you now see these and so many were the ways that was used to gain independence? And with this put together, we were able to gain our independence in 1st October 1960. Can you now see the reason why we were able to celebrate 1st October some few days ago? That is the reason for the independence. The Federation of Nigeria got her independence on 1st October 1960. We celebrate independence as an official national holiday to mark her proclamation of independence from Great Britain and to remember our heroes past and keep the history for the coming generation. That is why in our national anthem and our pledge, you will hear us saying the struggle of our heroes past will not go in vain, because they struggle and their struggle end up in gaining the independence for us. And we too, as the citizens of the country, we have to struggle to keep this unity and independence and make sure that the society will grow to maintain her dignity and to be a better place for you and I. So you, as a citizen of Nigeria, either young or old, you have a part to play to keep the nation going and to keep the dignity standing strong. At the risk of our time, I would not want to go, but we have to stop here. But before I go, I will leave you with assignment. And the assignment goes like this. Outline 3 reasons for seeking national independence. Outline 3 reasons for seeking national independence. Question 2. Mention 3 ways Nigeria fought for her independence. Mention 3 ways Nigeria fought for her independence. Number 3. When did Nigeria got her independence and why do we mark the date? When did Nigeria got her independence and why do we mark the date? My learners, I will leave you so that you will be able to write the assignment and ponder about our independence and see how you can contribute your quota to make sure that the struggle of our heroes past will not go in vain. For further studies, you can go through these reference, Civic Education for Schools and Colleges by Isaac Olubumi. Civic Education for Schools and Colleges by Isaac Olubumi. And the second one, Civic Education for Senior Secondary School by I.A. Imole. Civic Education for Senior Secondary School by I.E. Imole. And you can send your assignment through this, my WhatsApp number, 08024040570. 08024040570. I still remain your civic education teacher, Ruth Tanko Godwin. Stay safe, take care of yourself, and continue to be a good citizen of Nigeria, making the heroes past proud of what they did. Thank you.